Witness Wizardia slowly emerge from the fog. Uncover its magic in the fights for survival. Choose your wizards wisely, gain power, and get ready before the big game. Join the magic adventures with Wizardia Tournaments, the alpha version of the game.
And here we go. Hi, everyone. I hope that was as cool for you as it was for us, because I really like this tournament. The tournament trailer. It's really awesome, and I really like the voice of the person doing it. So, welcome today. Probably every one of you already know who we are, but let me introduce us to the new people joining. So I am Eligijs. I'm the Director of Partnerships at Wizardia. And joining me today, and probably as always, is Mindaugas. He's the CEO of Wizardia.
Hey everyone.
So hi everyone. So this stream is really exciting. Today we will reveal our updated game. You probably already saw it in the last MA, but we have really cool new things, like we will show sounds that we already have for spells. We will show how to play the game. We will show you how to set up a team, and we'll show you tips and tricks to do better in the Wizardia upcoming tournament. So without any further ado, maybe let's begin, Mindaugas.
Yeah, of course. I'm really excited to talk about it. When I saw the announcement, that guys came up with how to win in tournaments, I was a bit scared not to overpromise. But when we got ready for this, I think we're gonna give them really good tips, because as we tried, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to actually win in some battles, and you really need to think of what you wizards you select, and what spells you even use, and when to use them. So I really enjoy that even in the alpha version, there is quite a big challenge already to balance it out.
Yeah, my experience was probably the same, because when I started playing the Wizardia Alpha game, I was like, we have prepared a version where we can pick any wizard to just test it out. And to test it out, I picked like random wizards, and it was impossible for me to win. And I was like, why? And then I started digging into what wizards do what damage, what wizards are more powerful against which one. So I started digging deeper into the combat triangle, and finally, after learning how Wizardia works, I was able to win a lot more games. So maybe Bindugas, we could talk about the combat triangle and which wizards beat which, at least which
Yeah,
wizard is
let's
stronger.
go back to the basics, right? I think
Yeah.
that's the main thing where we actually had this, in even in our very first web page that I remember, was even with a bit of a different design. We really had already this logic of mind, body, and soul already present there, with some cool lore as well. And yeah, so I think you can show it, and I will arrange my lighting somehow. It's too much sun to outside, so I will try to turn on the light. Yeah, so mind, body, and soul. So easier for most gamers is to imagine this as rock, paper, scissors, right? So in this case, scissors is mind, paper is body, and rock is soul. So you can actually see how it goes. We even have some lore descriptions that the mind outwits body, the body seduces the soul, and the soul outlives the mind. So that's kind of the lore side of rock, paper, scissors in our case. As we know, all of the wizards have just one affinity, which is mind or body or soul. So you cannot have two of them. And this is the one thing that does not really change. The only thing that can change, you can gain more spells later on and so on, but your affinity, it stays the same. And this is, let's say, the first thing that you need to take a look at, probably when you get the wizard, or when you try to learn more about the wizard. So it's basically its affinity. Because as in our game, and even in the tournaments now, affinity means that if you are a mind wizard, you will deal a little bit more damage to the body wizard. the body wizard will deal more damage to the soul wizard, and the soul wizard will deal more damage to the mind wizard. And if a mind wizard attacks a wizard that is stronger, then they will deal less damage. So there is like a protection against each other, and this triangle kind of works in two ways. But it's always about who is weak against what, and who is strong against what, and this is kind of works when defending and when attacking as well.
Yeah, so maybe Mindaugas, I could share the table that we have of wizards, which wizards are stronger than which wizards, and people watching could have this table for themselves. And people who do not see the table, it will be a lot more difficult to them for them to figure out like which wizard beats which wizard.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be difficult, but it will definitely take some time because to just put all the wizards that will be in the tournaments. So they have been put into this table. It's a 5-minute table for us, but maybe later we will ask our design team to put it into a nice visual and put it somewhere on the website, or maybe in the later stages of another tournament. But basically, how you use this table. So on the left side, you see, for example, S, and it's a soul wizard, and on the top you see S, and it's a soul wizard as well, because it's the same wizard. So at the moment they cross, you can see the S from the left does normal damage to the S in the top. If we go later, so then S attacks the Tamuta, right? So which is a body wizard. So soul is weak against body, so that's why Ta will take less damage, and S in that case deals less damage to Ta. So they're in the SNS, so two soul wizards, they make the same damage, like the base default number, and in the other case they do less damage. And for example, the third example is S deals damage to Crizzle, which is the third in the top. So then it means it's strong against Crizzle. So that means it's uh, soul beats mind, and you get more damage for S in that case. And you can counter every wizard against every wizard using this table just to see who is strong against who. So yeah, save you some time, and you can just print screen this thing, or we make it later. But this is gonna be something that you will use if you play the tournaments for sure. I know I will use it because you cannot really remember everything at once, or you think, oh, was this Oleg, was he a body wizard because he's so big, or was he a soul wizard? So sometimes you get mixed up. So it's gonna be a good reminder, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, I think so too. And if you guys just save this table, it will be a lot easier for you to compete during the tournament itself. Because the first version that we had, it only had like 30-second rounds. And after playing it and analyzing what wizard does what, we came to the conclusion that at least for the PvE, the 30 seconds is a lot. It's not that much. So we increased it to 90 seconds. So in that 90 seconds, you can like check what wizards the opponent has, like check your wizards who builds who, and I think that it's enough time to like analyze the opponent's team
Yeah.
and get your strategy together before actually attacking someone.
Yeah, I think we will be showing some of the gameplay a bit later, and I think it's very important for the guys to see actually how to check how much health which opponent has, and for example, how much mana does he have left, and so on. So we're gonna go into details. I think let's take some time and really show how to do it, so they will know already before they start playing.
Yeah, I think so too. As I mentioned before, like starting to test the game, I wasn't really successful on beating the AI that we have. So maybe Mindaugas, we should talk about how Wizardia's players should like build their teams. What would be your tips for them to build your team to create a balanced team and increase the chances to win in the tournaments? What are the
Yeah.
layers to
I
balancing?
think, I think it's a very very long question, so we'll spend some time discussing it. But just before we jump into this, I think it's good to mention that the AI that you just complained about, it was the same for me, even at the early stage, like I don't know when, a month or 6 weeks ago, when we started like testing the unfinished version, and even then already it seemed that it's kind of hard to win. At first version it was very easy, so I thought what, and then the game designer did some balancing, and then I felt that, you know what, is it overpowered? But then you realize that the enemy has the same spells and the same chances as you have. The only question is when to use which spell, and AI is not always super smart. That's why it is possible to win, but otherwise it's like similar to a game of rock paper scissors in a way, but also to the game of tic tac toe. We're just on like X's and zeros, like where you, when somebody puts an X, you already are able to calculate all the existing combinations. So it's it seems that easy, but when you put all the spells into the calculation, then you see that it's less than a tic-tac-toe, but it's more like chess, because there's almost infinite number of combinations, and all these things I think give a good challenge to our game design team, who needed to balance out the AI so that it would be able to give you a challenge, actually, as if it was playing against a real opponent. So I'm really glad that they made it hard. Somebody's still gonna win. So and that is gonna be very interesting to statistic to see who got the best balance out. And now with this intro, we can move on to actually these balancing tips, uh, or like basic general things that you need to take a look at before you assemble your free wizard team. So when we were discussing this, we thought of these layers, what should be taken into account when doing this balance. So it's mind, body, soul. So basically the affinity of the wizard is very important to think about, because your opponent is going to be more or less randomized, right? What you get, the only thing is going to match your rarity of the wizards. So when you have this mind, body, soul dilemma, you can just choose one mind, one body, one soul wizard, and you will have a balanced team. The question is which wizards from body, mind, and soul are going to be in the setup, of course. And this is something also to figure out for the players themselves. But mind, body, and soul is going to be a safe choice, as we like to call it, because it's going to be balanced. But you can think about that you might get an opponent with two mind wizards and one body wizards, for example. And these two mind wizards, if they have the right spell chosen, or they have some sort of an opportunity to actually destroy your body wizard very fast. So you never know how it can turn out, but mainly being safe with the setup, I think it will be much easier for everyone to understand at first. But later on, also a good thing to understand is that all these sneaky combinations can give you an edge if you find the right strategy on how to play that setup. So the second layer is going to be the spell types. So the first one was the affinity. Second one is the spell types. So is it a single attack spell? Is it a multi-target spell that attacks all enemies and does maybe less damage and costs more mana per wizard, but it can do a lot of damage if you spread it around the team? And then there will be heal and protection spells. So heal and protection spells are something also that's in the game currently, and some of the wizards will have that ability to heal or shield other wizards or themselves, or I think somebody has even a mass heal, so actually they can heal all the team a bit less, but all the team is going to be healed. So it's good to defend against like multi-attack damage. Then you get multi
Healing.
multi-healing. Yeah, so it's kind of all about counters and whatever the random brings you and whatever you come up with your setup. So these two layers are, I think, the main things that you really take a look at. So it's how you combine all the spells that you have in your team, or even if you have, like, let's say all 7 or 8 wizards, then you can make up different combinations and get ready for the PvP, which is gonna be eventually coming out after the tournaments. So it's a good practicing ground, what I mean. Yeah, and the layer 3 is already what I thought about of being more of a in-depth look. So this is very hard to do like an early stage when you don't really know the effectiveness of all the spells. But when you try this out, this is a good thing to think about. So this is what I call uh, spell mana consumption. So each of the spells that you use, will it be a heal or it's going to be an attack spell, doesn't matter. They all use a little bit of mana, and mana is quite limited in this game. So if you have like, I don't know, like 1,000 health, for example, so you will have around 10 mana when you start. So all the spells cost like from 1 to even maybe 6 or 8 mana per spell, and of course these each of the spells have different damage output or healing output. So this is where you're gonna need to balance out and use the spells that you want to use earlier or later. And taking a look at mana consumption, I think, is a very strategic thing, because mana will run out eventually, sooner or later, and you will have to skip turns to regain, I think, 4 of mana. So it's quite of a fast-paced thing, even though you have like now I think 90 seconds for one turn, but there's not so many turns. So every shot actually matters on how you play this.
Yeah, and I have a good example where Petro, for his one attack, consumes only one mana. So if your opponent has really low health, it's really good to use that low mana consumption spell to just finish off your opponent, because it consumes not a lot of mana, and you have a lot more mana left for the next spell, for the spell that does a lot more damage.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see it as a good challenge, as I mentioned, for the game designer to actually balance out the spells. But for now, it seems like a logical thing. Of course, everyone is going to have their own opinion, and we might find that some things are unbalanced even after all this extensive testing. But it's still fun because somebody will find it and maybe use it to win the tournament. So, it's whoever plays more and does more research, I think they should be the winner.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and the layer 4, I added it a bit later, but layer 4 is something that I love to play most of the games in. So it's I named it individual wizard power, but what I mean by it also is that you have to kind of role play the wizard, right? So if you like some of the wizards and you like the spells that they use, it does not mean you cannot combine them into a certain team that would not be mind, body, soul, or whatever strategic standard. You can actually, find a way with some of the wizards that you combine together to actually win. Even, I don't know, using 3 of the same wizard, for example, right? We're going to have some of the gameplay examples, but the funniest thing is that, even using the same setup for a second time, using the spells slightly differently, there is a totally different outcome, and it's not so easy to win. So there's quite a thin line. So all these layer 4 things, when I say individual wizard power, so if you find something that you think is powerful in the current build, or you just like S, for example, right? So like everybody did. So you will want to use that wizard and see what it's capable of. So maybe not in all the combinations of the wizards, but you will definitely find one of those that only you play and you make it work somehow. So this is, I think, for me, is the most enjoyable part of the game. Just not to play the standard one, but just be different in a way, but also try to make it work. So
Awesome.
it's like playing with a knife in a counter, right? And then everybody shoots you, but when you get that one kill, everybody remembers you because you just run and you knife somebody, right? So maybe here is the wrong example, but I think there will be such funny ways of how you can win actually.
Yeah, I remember the Counter-Strike game where if you get a kill with a knife, so you're a hero of that round. Yeah, so maybe Mindaugas, we should show one more table for our viewers who are watching already for 25 minutes.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, for what spells which wizards have. So it will be a useful table for them too. to just have for them and see how they can use them.
Yeah, so this is like also like a rough description of what the spell does. There is like no damage numbers or something like that. This we will need to find out on the go, and there will be definitely some balancing still done. But in the current build, we have these spells. They're a bit in the description. You find it more of a lore description, but that's the fun thing, to really see what happens and then understand which one of them is more powerful or less powerful, or something that maybe you feel that fits your game style already. So you can also see which is the damage spell, which is the protection spell, which is the heal. So yeah, you can screenshot it, and also maybe it will be useful to make it into something that you will make some notes during the tournaments, which damage spell does how much damage and so on. So you might add this to this table.
Yep, and you can also use this table to find out which spells, like Mindaugas mentioned, do damage to single opponent, to do to multiple opponents. So it's good to strategize your team and see how you can go about it when you get your opponent. So maybe Mindaugas, let's jump into the game. Show at first what a good balanced team looks like, and let's, as you say, play against 3 S's, because it's
Okay.
and
Yeah, let's do it.
we can also share the sounds.
Yeah, for sure. I will stay more quiet while you share this, and let the guys enjoy, because this is gonna be something first time actually that when we show Wizardia gameplay with the sound effects.
Yeah. So guys, please, this is our own test version where we can pick our team, we can pick the opponent team to have faster testing for us, because we want to test like different combinations, different wizards against different wizards, and just to see, to like explore, is the balance good and how can we get it better. So yeah, without any further ado, let's maybe start with Armin, Tag, and Oleg. I already pre-picked the team, and let's battle against races. What do you think, Mindaugas?
Yeah, of course. And every wizard is a rare wizard in this case. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just mute the background music and just have the spells sounds activated. So yeah, okay, we have 3 S's, and my first wizard is a body wizard. And my probable strategy is to attack the last wizard that has its turn, because I don't want him to like get to his turn. So maybe let's do that. And as you can see, the body wizard does a lot more damage to the soul wizard, because it's in the combat triangle, body beats soul. So yeah, so let's try.
Body seduces.
That's true.
Especially the body of S. It's a shame it's not a body wizard, right?
Yeah. Maybe we need to change it on the go, or maybe like S should have a sister.
Or maybe S can change affinities. That's the only wizard that can change.
Yeah.
We'll talk to the game designer or to the lore master, of course.
Maybe we need to check what the community thinks about it. So
yeah.
So again, I have now Soul Wizard Oleg, and my opponents are also both Soul Wizards. So the damage, as you saw in the table, is normal. It should do maybe I don't know which one wizard to attack. Maybe let's attack.
Yeah, I think in this case it was better to use the mass damage spell.
Maybe. Let's hope I win this time. So yeah,
you're healing yourself, right, with this? Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe I should heal Tah, but maybe I'll heal myself, because Tah has more health. Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, I already lost one wizard, but the opponent lost two. So I think I should win this, but I see I don't have a lot of mana left. And for example, for the opponent, I see that they have quite a few mana points left. But yeah, okay, with Tag, I see that not enough mana. And we need to skip the turn to get more mana. And it's the same for Armin. We also need to skip the turn because none of the spells that I have
Yeah.
require 1 mana point. So let's just skip it. And it's probably the same for S because she needs more mana to do the spells. And I see that S doesn't have a lot of health left. And as you can see, the Earth split does 380 damage, and S has 450 damage. But as body is stronger than soul, we have the multiplier that makes the attack stronger. So if I attack S with spell,
Yeah, it was enough.
yeah, it was enough. And as you can see, I'm victorious. Thank you for that. And yeah, it was a fun game. Actually, I set up my team so I would actually win. So I would look good on the stream. So yeah, so maybe let's move to the second part of the stream, and maybe let's like show an example of 3 wizards, again same 3 wizards but of different like types. What do you think, Mindaugas?
Yeah, of course. While we play also, I think it's maybe we could also connect the tips and tricks thing also while using this.
Yeah.
So I remember our first tip was about having a healer on your team. So you already played one with a healer. So that would be probably the first tip for the beginner players, as I found it also at the beginning. It was easier to have a healer on the team, especially when you're playing the first matches and these healers give you like a chance to recover if the enemy focuses like some one wizard or it does a lot of like team damage. So it kind of helps you, you spend some mana, but the enemy wastes some mana. So healers kind of buy you some time. So especially if you have a good balance and cheaper spells that you can actually save a little bit and then use them later, kind of make a burst later in the game, so the healer buys you time to do exactly that.
Yeah, and I think a good tip would be also to heal the wizard that you think that is going to die next, because if some wizard has not a lot of health left, and you see that the next turn for the opponent is for the wizard that has a multi-strike attack, and they have enough mana for that, I think that they will use that. And it's a good idea to heal the wizard with not a lot of health, just not to let him be killed, because
Yeah.
if he gets his turn, you get 1 extra shot, kill the opponent wizard. Yeah, so maybe let's start with the team that I really want to show Petro Grenade because I really like the animation. So maybe let's
Yeah,
pick.
and I think it's the cheapest spell mana wise, right, in the game.
Yeah. It consumes only 1 mana point. So that's a good strategy to have Petro do, because when you are low on mana, and as I mentioned, some wizard is low on health, you can just easily kill that wizard with like no mana consumption. So yeah, any advice, Mindaugas, on the strategy?
Yeah, I just see. Also, was looking through the chat, so somebody is like this discussing about the game looking primitive and the animations. Of course, some of the animations we know they are a bit of a clunky and they're fast. The main thing for us is to make the game playable for everyone to enjoy. As we continue, we also have a small like demonstration also later on the stream on the animation topic, but everything else, is going to be updated and made look better. So, never forget it's the first live version. So, you're here to see it. You're here to really soon test it. But now let's focus on this turn. So we have Mind Wizard and Soul Wizard, right?
Yeah, and I also, Mindaugas, wanted to add that as we are streaming through a third-party platform, you might see like some lagging, some not so high quality.
Yeah.
So the game is really high quality, and people testing really
You
love it.
have 7 seconds. Use spike. Use spike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the beginning, at least my strategy was always to try to use the as much damage if you can do it, because if you calculate and it's a low mana consumption,
Yeah.
so then later you can do the powerful spell as well.
Yeah. So maybe let's try to always use the spike, because
Let's see what happens. I don't remember, but I think yeah,
yeah, it was the grenade that
it was the grenade. So he saved the mana and he actually threw the grenade.
yeah. So the AI is not stupid. They know what spell to use, how much health my wizards have. So yeah, it's not that easy to actually win. So if I shoot a spike now, I should kill all of the opponent wizards, because soul beats mine, as I understand, and I made a lot more damage to the mine wizards.
Yeah, I think it was because Petro was initially introduced as a different wizard in the game. So we have to report this. This is definitely a bug, because I remember it was Petro. Just the name was changed, but his like affinity inside was not changed in the code.
Yeah. So
But
maybe
that's a very good example. Yeah. So on how you catch some of the bugs that are still there
yeah.
when progressing.
So maybe let's win this game and just pick again 3 S's and battle against opponent that has only body wizards, and show how the opponent is like
Yeah.
quick to win the game like just I did. And this shows exactly why the
Yeah,
battle.
and Petro was actually also the latest addition to the build, I think. So I think it was not balanced. There was just very cheap spells, but as we can see, it does not do that much damage yet. So I hope they actually boost him up a little bit until the tournament.
Yeah, I think they will. I don't see why not. So yeah, let's take a few bodies. Maybe yeah, let's take setting. Let's take attack, and do we have one more body? Yeah, we have Amen. So now, as soul is weaker
Yeah.
than body, and I have all soul, and the opponent has all body, I don't think that it will be hard for the
But
opponent.
you're picking only S, so it's also I think it's yeah, but
Yeah,
the enemy is changing.
so that's probably a part of the strategy. Like if you have all of the same wizards, it will be a lot harder for you to win against different varieties of opponent wizards. So you need, if you have the same wizards, you really need to catch your opponent like having a weaker setup of wizards of the same type. So as you see, they did a lot of damage, and maybe let's try to kill at least one wizard.
No.
Yeah, I really like this one, the sound effect.
Yeah, he doesn't look like much when you look at this image, but he is a very powerful wizard.
Yeah, he's a hidden one. Let's try to kill him. Okay, and I
It's still
already
1
lost.
HP.
Yeah, so that's comparing 3 soul wizards against 3 body wizards, and the opponent just crushed me. So it's probably better to have a balanced team, and if not to have like the same type.
Yeah. Also, I will share a couple of tips while we go on this. So you have to watch your mana and think about what spell to cast and when. Because with some wizards, it's an easy choice because both spells might cost the same. It's just more of a tactical decision which spell should go first. But on some wizards, they have like a spell that costs like 5 mana and the other one is 3. And you have to calculate in your mind how many turns you are going to last and whether it's better to use the more expensive spell first or no. The other tip also is very important, and it's going to be more strategic. Let's say whenever you get already better at the game. So it depends on which wizard you put into which slot. Because 1, 2, 3, like the placement of wizards, also means their turn, how you are placing, and your opponent is gonna also have 3 wizards, but they have like different starting points at different matches, maybe, or and this is a difference because if your If your third wizard gets attacked by all of the enemy wizards first, he might die in 3 spells or even 2 spells in some cases if it's weaker. So that's why it's much worth to put your more healthy or wizards with more HP to the end of your roster. So they would go last and they would survive until their turn. So this is also like a small strategic tip that you might find useful when setting up your team.
Yeah, I think that's quite great tips. So another tip that I would personally have is like not to limit yourself to 3 wizards during the tournaments, because when you're playing, you might find that, for example, the 3 wizards that you have is not the best field for you. So you might have 5 wizards and just experiment with it, which team works best for you. Because at least for me, I like to have more healers on the team because it works for me. But for example, maybe for Mindaugas likes all attack and he has no healers, and it works the best for him because he knows how to win playing all offensive. And I like, for example, me, I like playing defensive. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so this is
me.
gonna be a different strategies, definitely. So also like these another tip about what we already did in the past game, and we saw how the AI also acts. So in the beginning, the most efficient way to deal as much damage to the whole team as possible is better to have um, like this multi-attack spell for the first or second turn usually. It's not always like that, but in most cases, what I found is better damage per mana cost. So if you use like this AOE or multi-target spell when there's only one wizard left on the enemy team, it's not going to be so damage efficient as it would be at the first turn.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, probably that some of the people have bought, almost all people, not almost all, but a lot of people have bought rare wizards, and some people have legendary and epic wizards. So, and you might wonder if the damage will be different, and the answer is yes. But when battling against the opponent, the AI will pick you a similar team to what you have. So, for example, if you have one rare, one epic, and one legendary, you will battle against one rare, one epic, and one legendary. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a hidden strategy too, like to have a really powerful legendary wizard and to do more damage to an opponent's rare wizard and to take him out really fast.
Yeah, the difference is not that big, but we tried, I think, playing with 3 rares against 3 legendary at this point. But it's not going to happen because the computer will match your exact setup. And when we are preparing for PvP, is definitely going to be rebalanced to make things as fair as possible and to make it strategically interesting to play even against stronger opponents.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. So I don't know, maybe Mindaugas, you have any more tips for the audience? Because I think
Went through all of them. So it was the healer tip at your start. Then yeah, the mana, watching when to cast actually, and then see what's the best damage or heal per mana use. Uh, it's better to cast spells that damage all wizards when all wizards are still alive, as it will cost less mana per damage. It's good to have more wizards to test out different combinations. And while there is no real difference, and you can use even epic or rare wizards, you don't have to go legendary to actually win this tournament. So it's a good chance to actually have a full collection. Whoever is interested more in analyzing more of the wizards. But definitely we will take some stats and report on the best combinations on the wizards while the tournament is going. At least that's very interesting for me. So I hope the guys will pull some stats and we can share it with you, so you can try to update your combination or see what spells people use. And I really hope there will be some videos as well on the internet on how to how to win at Wizardia tournament. So maybe somebody will figure it out and share it with the people.
we're going to report that, like, don't listen to them, create your own strategy.
Yeah. And the last tip was that we mentioned was also like the placement of the wizard, like 1, 2, 3. So the turn in which the wizards go is very important.
Yeah, and I just wanted to update you guys that for the tournament, you will have, for one ticket, you will have 20 matches. So if you play 20 matches and you like decide that it wasn't your like best run, you can always buy a new ticket, get 20 more matches, and just try to increase your score. After you buy a new ticket, your score just gets reset, and you can try another time and try another time and just get better and better and better. And yeah, maybe Mindaugas, we should show how you're creating the animations for the wizard, because someone mentioned
Yeah,
that.
we're not yet creating them. It's just like a little thing that I wanted to show. You can guess whose basic model it is. Probably the guy, you know, with the leg. And somebody said he looked like a dwarf. So actually, it was me the first time when we got the suit. It was me testing on how it works, and now it's much more better calibrated. But you can just take a look at it at some test motions, how everything is still clunky, but also just keep in mind that it's like a first, just the first step.
Yeah, I think after each iteration, the wizard's animations will improve. They will become more smooth, and I think,
Yeah, and the calibration, as you can see, the legs are sliding a bit on the ground. So I'm just showing you like the first thing that when we sent it to the devs, he said no. so but it was 5 minutes after we put on the suit, and it's it's calibrated much better now. We had a session today also to test some recordings. So as you can see, this gives you basically full human movement possibilities. So you can put on a suit and you can do some cool things with the wizard animations, and hopefully this will be easy for the team to process later and put it into the gameplay. But many things you can actually have, that you would not imagine how you can program it. Especially the dances. I think people liked laughing at it, but yeah, dancing and looking at yourself as Petro in this case is a bit strange, but it's also funny at the same time.
yeah,
Yeah. So
I think it's a lot of fun to watch that.
yeah, and I think the last one was just funny because I was doing like a select. Yeah, this this one. I was doing like a select motion of all the required gifts, like these movements to test out the needed animations. So and then I just put in on a fighter pose at the end. So we were just just for fun.
It's the most awesome pose that you did, because like it looked like you were exercising previously,
Yeah.
like doing stretches. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
so now, yeah, I think we can go to some questions. There are already people discussing, and Dixon, as usual, is answering them. He always knows everything. He's just the number one fan probably of the project. So maybe when we have a rating of how to rate our fans, then Dixon will definitely participate.
I think he's already winning in that.
Yeah, but when there are no rules, nobody knows. We cannot say he's winning. We feel
Yeah,
he is, but there are some other people that I know the names already who usually come to our streams and ask good questions and keep the discussion alive. So that's the best thing.
yeah, awesome. I see that a few people are watching that do not understand the English really well. So, guys, please know that after the stream is finished, YouTube will automatically add the translations in the video, so you can rewatch it and rewatch it with the subtitles of your own language. So, no worries about that. I see Wizardia top game. We agree with that.
Yeah, there are some people asking about training stage.
Yeah.
So training stage will be available sometime in the future. At current situation. We just wanted to actually see how many people have the NFTs, how many people truly believe, and the free-to-play mode, let's say it's coming, but not at this stage. We just want to keep it this way in a bit more closed environment where actually people who believe in the game will be testing it out and not just release a product which is still an alpha to the public. So even if there will be some, let's say, practice stage or some test version that you are able to do it, so it will probably be the priority to the loyal members of the community and the NFT holders.
Yeah, awesome. I see also Dixon is writing that body wizards are mostly for protection and healing. They'll be a nice fit for attacking wizards like mind wizards that are all attack. So yeah, that's probably one of the strategies. Just keep in mind that body wizards can also attack, not only heal.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but having a healer in your team, at least for me, that's the best strategy I had so far. So
Yeah, yeah,
appreciate.
you like to play defensive, as we said. So
Yeah,
I really hope we have the PvP mode quite soon, at least in testing mode, so we can fight against each other and maybe bet some like a beer, for example. So
yeah,
so whoever loses has to buy a winner a beer.
yeah. Every match or or
Oh,
after
we'll see how thirsty we are.
every match, probably more interesting.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and in the future you will be able to play it in a bar against somebody, so you can really discuss
Yeah,
things in the arena of Wizardia.
yeah. I see. Nerkiukas is asking, "Hello guys, when Lambo?" So yeah,
Yeah,
so
so Lambo, yeah, I think our project. We said in the beginning, we truly believe in the long term. Even when we were talking to our investors, we said, guys, you have to understand, crypto is requiring quick roadmap, like situations where you have like 2 months release everything, but we try to stay still, realistic. As we can see, at the testing and the final product that we want to put out takes a little bit more time. So, it's getting ready. We keep you guys updated. So for us, I think it's important to keep the dialogue open, show you guys what we're up to, and show you guys where we're headed. So we start with the tournaments, then we go with the PvP. So
yeah,
it's just the way it is.
yeah. And I wanted to just guys remind you that we still have our Arena Genesis NFT sale. It's almost finished. The sixth round, I think, has less than 1,000 NFTs left. Let me quickly check, just not to be incorrect. Yeah, I see it only has 824 left. So Arena Genesis NFT will sell out really soon. So if you have a chance, just get it. And I wanted also to remind you guys that we have our market NFTs, which are really cool too. A lot of people like them, and they are cheaper than the Arena for now. So just go check them out.
Yeah, the main thing, also if you didn't see that the stream that we were talking about the market NFT is that they both benefit from a part of the Wizardia's economy. Arena generates revenue from the fights in the arena. So whenever the arena is live with all the economy launched already, so then the arena will start earning, and the market is connected in a similar way to our fragment and like our like in-game market. So that's where you will have all the trades, and the percentage of those trades also will feed the economy of the arena and the market NFTs. So in this case, arena economy goes to the arena NFT, and of course the market NFT gains from the market economy.
Yeah. Awesome. So I see we already are 55 minutes in. So we planned for 45
Oh, the
minutes.
time flew by. I thought, we need to prepare. We need a lot of material for
Yeah.
this, and we really want to show you guys what we've been up to, and really share you the gameplay with the sounds. I think, for us, it's a big progress, and I hope you were happy to see it also. And very soon we will all be playing this together online.
Yeah.
Try to beat the mind of the game designer, whoever designed the AI of the computer.
Yeah. And as always, we plan to like have 45 minutes, 30 minutes, but it's not possible. As we get excited about the game, we just can continue talking like for hours. And I remember that 4 or 5 months ago, I was drinking wine and we had a call with Mindaugas, and we just, for a short discussion, it was like 3 hours or 4 hours about discussing games, WZRD and everything else. So I think that translates really well to the MEAs because, yeah, as always, we do not fit in the time we have planned. So yeah, so thank you everyone for joining the stream. It was really enjoyable for us. I hope it was as same enjoyable for you. And if you have any questions, just jump on to our chat on Telegram, on Discord, even on Twitter if you want. And I assume that Dixon will always be there because he's our number one fan. So.
And you know what? I just remember that we have to do. I have to go sometime, maybe this Friday or sometime. We'll make an announcement. But I would like just to go maybe on our Discord and share my screen and play some, some Wizardia.
Yeah.
And maybe discuss it with whoever is there. So I think it would be a good idea because somebody asked me to do it, and now I remembered, and I think it's a good time to make this commitment to do it at least once in the upcoming week.
Yeah, and I think for people wanting the training stage, it will be like a good stream to watch.
Yeah, then maybe they can order some combinations of the wizards that I can try it out, and we can try to play it together.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect idea. So yeah, again, thank you guys, and see you on chat.
Yeah, bye guys.
Witness Wizardia slowly emerge from the fog. Uncover its magic in the fights for survival. Choose your wizards wisely, gain power, and get ready before the big game. Join the magic adventures with Wizardia tournaments